What's going on, folks? It is Armand from 30 Minutes to President's Club, and I have a really exciting update that will be changing the way your podcast feed looks over the next couple of weeks. So you might be familiar with the fact that on Tuesdays, Nick and I usually interview a sales guest focused on like tactics that reps can use. And then on Thursdays, we interview a leader focused on ways that you can run a sales team. And those interviews are great, but some of you who've been following us for a long time might have known that we, one, do a playbook episode every 10 episodes where we break down one topic deep, beginning to end, with no guests involved for about 30 minutes. And then two, we used to do YouTube content 2 years ago, but honestly, like we didn't have the team in place to be able to like support the pace that YouTube required. And so we ended up not doing that anymore, even though a lot of people really like the content. So we're bringing that back. So on Tuesdays, what you can expect moving forward is every other Tuesday will be a different topic of interview. So for example, in the first week, Nick and I might interview a sales guest. And then the next week, Mark and I might interview a leadership guest. So to go sales, leadership, but those interviews will always be on Tuesday. And then Thursdays will be reserved for step-by-step tactical breakdowns, YouTube style videos. So I think you're going to get three things out of this. Number one is when we have the chance to pre-plan an episode, you end up getting more tactics per minute. So like sometimes guest interviews, they can sprawl all over the place, and we do a good job of like trying to like steer them in the right direction. But like a guest might talk about like cold calling and then discovery and then like post-discovery recap. But if you just want to learn how to like do a cold call beginning to end, we need to like pre-plan that episode. And so YouTube allows you to like pre-plan the topic where we can be like, okay, here's an episode on how to open a cold call. Here's an episode on how to run a negotiation. Here's an episode on what to do if someone says, I'm not interested. These can be like 10 to 20 minute bite-sized, click a video, learn something new, get out of there, practice it in the field kind of thing. So that's number one, is you'll get more tactics per minute. Number two is by pre-planning some of these episodes, you'll get more step-by-step breakdowns, which tends to be better content. And then lastly, number three, there are some fun formats that we've wanted to do on the show for the longest time that just like don't lend themselves to the interview format. So for example, we've wanted to like break down real cold calls on the show, and we never got the chance to do that. We wanted to like pull out a whiteboard and like diagram some things, or like tear down an email, or like whiteboard out a discovery process step by step. And you can't really do that on a guest interview, but you can do that in like a pre-planned YouTube format. So all of those episodes will be dropping on this feed on Thursdays, but the best way to consume that stuff is it would mean a ton to us if you took 2 seconds and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the show notes, but it's just youtube.com/30mpc. We'll put it in the show notes, or you can just like look up 30 Minutes to President's Club YouTube and it will pop up first. In August, we are going to start this new drop cadence, so you should be like seeing the stuff come relatively soon. And the last thing is I always really, really appreciate it when people give us direct feedback on some of the changes that we're making or the content that we're putting out. So folks, if you could email me at armand@30mpc when this content starts to drop, or before it drops, I would love to hear what you would like us to break down in some of these YouTube videos. Nick and I have covered everything from cold calling to cold email to discovery. We also want to bring on some other guests to do some YouTube episodes. Like we'd love to do something with Ian Koniak where he breaks down how he closed his $10 million deal with Berkshire Hathaway. But honestly, like you all are the best dictators of like what content you want to see or what you're trying to learn in sales. So just email me at armand@30mpc.com. This is probably insane, but that is my real email, and I look at every single email that I get. So I would love to hear, one, what you think about some of the content that's coming out, or two, I'd love to hear just like what you want us to put on the YouTube channel. And I think that's it, folks. Sub to us on YouTube, and hopefully we can give you even more value-dense content every single week. Alrighty, folks, catch you soon.